Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're diving deep into the world of data science today. And this deep dive is brought to you by Afterwork.
Mm-hmm.
I think most people have heard the term data science by now,
Yeah.
but honestly, what really is it?
Well, it's kind of like, you know, all that data that's out there.
Right.
We're creating mountains of data every single day,
Every Google search, every purchase.
Like every online purchase, every Google search, every social media post.
Yeah.
Data science gives us the power to kind of unlock all those secrets hidden in the data.
So it's like having a detective's toolkit, but instead of a magnifying glass, it's algorithms and code.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You think about it, like we're all leaving these digital footprints wherever we go.
Right.
And data science helps us understand and make sense of those footprints.
So it's not just about crunching numbers. There's a real problem-solving aspect to it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about finding those meaningful insights that can drive real change.
Okay, so to kind of illustrate this, let's talk about Ethan. So Ethan just landed his first data science job at this booming e-commerce company, and he was tasked with figuring out why customers were leaving. Customer churn.
The dreaded churn, yeah.
It's like the nightmare for businesses.
It is.
But the data he got was a total mess, just like,
A disaster.
yeah, missing info, inconsistent formats. It's a complete nightmare.
A data swamp, some people call it.
Oh, yeah. I can relate to that feeling of data overwhelm,
It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack.
except the haystack is on fire.
Exactly, and the needle is also on fire.
Yeah.
And just like a detective wouldn't start analyzing clues without organizing them first.
Right.
Ethan knew he had to clean and prep that data before he could even begin to make sense of it.
Okay. So data cleaning, that's like step one.
Yeah, it's super crucial in any data science project.
So Ethan gets his data all organized and ready to go.
Yeah.
Did he find anything interesting?
Well, he started using this technique called clustering.
Clustering.
It's like when you sort your laundry, you group similar items together, right?
Yeah. So in Ethan's case, he was grouping customers based on their behavior, and guess what he found?
Right.
A whole cluster of bargain hunters.
Bargain hunters, people who only buy things when they're on sale.
Exactly. They were just hopping from sale to sale.
Ah, the savvy shoppers.
Yeah, never really developing any loyalty to the company.
So that was like his aha moment. He found the source of the churn.
Exactly. It was a key driver.
So knowing this, what did he do?
Well, he decided to build a predictive model. It's like a crystal ball powered by data.
Ooh.
It uses historical data to predict what might happen in the future.
Predicting the future of shoppers. Did it work?
So Ethan wanted to use this to predict which customers were most likely to leave next.
That's pretty powerful.
It is. And then he came up with a plan to keep them around.
What was the plan?
He proposed a targeted discount program specifically for those at-risk bargain hunters.
So basically fighting fire with fire?
Yeah, exactly. Fighting deals with deals. Okay, so Ethan, the data detective, he's cracked the case and even has a solution.
Yeah.
Was everyone on board with his plan?
Well, his manager, Amelia, was a little skeptical at first,
I mean, giving discounts to customers who are already leaving sounds kind of counterintuitive.
Yeah, but she was open to trying new things, especially if they were backed by data.
Smart manager.
She was.
So what happened? Did it work?
It did. The churn rate started to drop. Those bargain hunters came back.
They came back?
And some of them even started spending more.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
Ethan's data-driven approach had a real impact on the company's bottom line.
So it's not just about understanding the data, it's about using it to actually make a difference.
Exactly. Ethan's story is just one small example of how data science is making waves in the world today.
So we've seen how data science worked in Ethan's world, but what about the bigger picture?
Right.
Where else is data science making a splash?
Data science is everywhere. It's used in so many different fields, it's mind-blowing.
Give me some specific examples, I'm curious.
Okay, so like customer segmentation, for instance.
Customer segmentation.
Companies use clustering, just like Ethan, to group customers based on their buying habits or demographics.
Right.
Allows them to personalize marketing and stuff.
Makes sense. The more you know about your customers, the better you can serve them.
Exactly. And then there's churn prediction, which we already talked about.
Yeah.
It's valuable in tons of industries, from telecommunications to streaming services.
I can see that.
Helps companies retain customers.
What else?
Oh, there's so much more, like sentiment analysis, for example.
Sentiment analysis.
Companies use this technique to analyze online reviews, social media posts,
Yeah.
basically any text data to understand public opinion.
So they can gauge how people feel about their brand.
Exactly. It's incredibly valuable information.
What else?
And then there's predictive maintenance.
Okay.
Manufacturing companies, for example,
Yeah.
they're using machine learning to predict when equipment might fail. Yeah, allows them to schedule maintenance and avoid downtime.
That sounds super efficient.
It is. And of course, we can't forget fraud detection.
Oh, yeah.
Financial institutions and e-commerce companies, they use data science to identify unusual patterns.
To catch the bad guys.
Exactly.
Wow. It's incredible how many applications there are for data science.
Yeah, it really is. And the exciting part is that this field is constantly evolving. New techniques are emerging all the time.
So with all this information, how can our listeners kind of remember all the key takeaways?
Well, that's where Ethan's journey comes in handy.
Okay.
Think of it as like a roadmap for understanding data science.
I like that.
So first we have like the messy data dilemma.
Right.
Ethan struggled at first, which shows the importance of data cleaning and pre-processing.
Right. You can't do anything meaningful with data if it's a mess.
Exactly. And then there's clustering, which Ethan used to find the bargain hunters.
Yeah.
Shows the power of data analysis to uncover those hidden patterns.
Yeah.
Then we have the predictive model, which shows the ability of data science to predict future outcomes.
Like predicting which customers might leave.
Exactly. And lastly, we have the success of Ethan's discount program,
Right.
showing how data-driven insights can be translated into actions that make a difference.
So it's not just about the data itself, it's about what you do with it.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of data science. It's a bridge between information and action.
That's a great way to put it. Data science really is powerful. It can help us understand our world and make it better.
It is, and it's a field that's full of opportunities, speaking of which.
Yes.
This deep dive is brought to you by Afterwork.
Yes, it is.
They have this amazing YouTube channel that helps aspiring data scientists,
Oh, cool.
learn all the skills they need to succeed in this field.
Awesome.
Yeah, they cover everything from the basics of Python and statistics to advanced machine learning.
Sounds like a great resource.
It is. So if you're interested in data science, definitely check out Afterwork's YouTube channel.
Yeah, tons of information to help you get started.
And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to Afterwork.
Yes. Subscribe to Afterwork to keep learning and stay up to date on all things data science. We'll be back after a short break with more on the exciting world of data science.
Sounds good. So we talked about what data science is and why it's so powerful, but I think it's important to understand how it actually works. What are the steps involved in a typical data science project?
That's a great point. It's one thing to grasp the concept, but it's another to see how it's applied in the real world.
Exactly. So let's imagine you're embarking on a data science project, the first step, and arguably the most crucial one is defining the problem.
Okay, problem definition, but how do you actually define the problem in a way that makes sense? It seems like you could go in so many different directions with data.
Yeah, that's where the real detective work begins. You need to clearly articulate what you're trying to solve. Like, what questions are you trying to answer? What goals are you hoping to achieve?
So it's like setting a compass before you set sail.
Exactly. You need to know where you're going before you start gathering data.
Makes sense.
Once you have a well-defined problem, you know what you're looking for, then you start gathering your clues. This means collecting relevant data from various sources.
Data collection. So this is where we start sifting through those mountains of information we talked about earlier.
Exactly. Think of it like being a digital archaeologist.
Yeah.
Unearthing valuable artifacts from this vast digital landscape.
I like that analogy.
Yeah. It could involve querying databases, accessing APIs, or even scraping data from websites.
So like a detective, but instead of a magnifying glass, you've got a keyboard and some serious coding skills.
Exactly. And just like a detective wouldn't analyze dusty fingerprints without cleaning them, first we need to clean and pre-process the data.
Right. We can't forget about that messy data dilemma we talked about earlier.
Exactly. This is where we get rid of errors, handle missing values, and format the data so it's actually usable.
So data cleaning is like prepping the ingredients for a delicious meal.
Precisely. You want to make sure your data is ready for analysis.
Otherwise, you might end up with a pretty bad dish.
Exactly. Once the data is all clean and prepped, then the real fun begins: exploratory data analysis, or EDA for short.
EDA. So this is where we start playing with the data, looking for patterns, trends, and those aha moments.
Exactly. It's all about getting to know your data inside and out, visualizing it, summarizing it, and identifying potential areas of interest.
So like putting on your explorer's hat and mapping out the terrain.
Precisely. You're looking for hidden pathways and unexpected treasures.
I like it.
Based on what you find during EDA, you can then move on to data analysis and modeling.
So this is where we bring in the big guns, right? The algorithms and machine learning models.
Exactly. This is where you apply statistical techniques and machine learning algorithms to extract deeper insights from the data.
So it's like building a powerful engine that can process all that raw data and turn it into something meaningful.
That's a great way to put it, but before you unleash that engine, you need to make sure it's working properly. That's where evaluation comes in.
Evaluations, this is where we test our models to see how well they perform.
Exactly. You need to assess how accurate the predictions are and if the model is making the right decisions.
So like taking your car for a test drive before you hit the highway.
Precisely, you want to make sure it's roadworthy.
Okay. And once you're confident in the model's performance, then what?
Then you move on to deployment. This is where you implement the model in a real-world setting.
So our model goes from the lab to the front lines.
Exactly. But the journey doesn't end there. You need to keep an eye on the model and make sure it's still performing well. This is monitoring and maintenance.
So it's like tending a garden. You need to water it, and prune it, make sure it's thriving.
That's a great analogy. Data science projects require ongoing attention to ensure they continue delivering value.
This is all incredibly helpful, but I'm curious, what kind of tools do data scientists actually use to do all of this?
Great question. Data scientists have a wide range of tools at their disposal. Let's start with programming languages.
Okay, programming languages. So these are like the building blocks for data science projects.
Exactly. And in the world of data science, Python is king.
Python, I've heard a lot about Python. What makes it so special for data science?
Well, it's versatile, it's relatively easy to learn even for beginners, and it has a huge supportive community.
So lots of resources and help available if you need it.
Exactly. And Python has some amazing libraries specifically designed for data science, like Pandas NumPy and scikit-learn.
Libraries, what are those?
Think of them as toolboxes filled with specialized functions and code that help you complete specific tasks.
So you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time?
Exactly. You just grab the right tool for the job.
What about tools for working with databases?
Well, SQL is essential for working with relational databases. It's a powerful language for querying, filtering, and managing data.
SQL, it sounds like the key to unlocking all those secrets hidden in massive databases.
It kind of is. And then we have data visualization, which is super important for understanding patterns and communicating insights.
Right, a picture is worth 1,000 data points or something like that.
Exactly. There are some great tools for that, like Matplotlib and Seaborn, which are Python libraries, and then Tableau and Power BI, which are more interactive.
So many options, it's amazing.
What about tools for those complex machine learning tasks?
Yeah, what about those?
For those, you have libraries like TensorFlow Keras and PyTorch. They're really powerful for things like image recognition and natural language processing.
So many tools, it's incredible.
And the best part is that data science is constantly evolving, new tools and techniques are always emerging.
So it's a field that always keeps you on your toes.
Exactly.
So if someone's just starting out in data science, where should they begin? It all sounds a bit overwhelming, to be honest.
It can be, but don't worry, the key is to start with the fundamentals.
Okay, fundamentals, like what specifically?
A solid foundation in Python programming and basic statistics is essential.
Got it. Learn to code and understand the language of data.
Exactly. Once you're comfortable with that, you can start exploring data handling techniques like manipulating, cleaning, and transforming data using tools like Pandas and SQL.
So get your hands dirty with real data.
Exactly. And then start experimenting with data visualization. Learn how to create compelling charts and graphs that communicate insights.
Make those numbers sing.
Precisely. And once you have a good grasp of those core skills, you can dive into machine learning.
Machine learning, this is where it gets really interesting.
It does start with simple algorithms like linear regression and decision trees. There are tons of resources available online, and libraries like scikit-learn make it surprisingly accessible.
So build up your skills gradually, starting with the basics.
Exactly. And the best way to learn is to actually work on projects, find interesting data sets, come up with your own questions, and try to answer them using what you've learned.
Learn by doing.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to get involved in the data science community. There are tons of online forums, webinars, and even competitions like Kaggle, where you can connect with other data enthusiasts and learn from each other.
So it's like joining a guild of data wizards.
That's one way to put it. And lastly, remember that data science is always evolving. So make it a habit to stay updated, read blogs, attend conferences, and keep learning.
Be a lifelong learner.
Exactly. Data science is a journey, not a destination. And it's a journey full of challenges, discoveries, and incredible possibilities.
I love that this has been a really fascinating deep dive into the world of data science.
It has.
We've covered a lot from the basics to the practical steps involved in a project.
And we've seen how data science is transforming industries and shaping the future.
It really is an amazing field, and I'm sure our listeners are eager to learn more.
I hope so.
Now let's go back to Ethan's story and see how it connects to this bigger picture of data science we've been talking about. All right, so let's circle back to Ethan's story for a minute and see how it all ties together with the bigger picture of data science.
Yeah, Ethan's journey is a great example of how data science works in practice. From dealing with messy data to finding hidden patterns and then actually driving real results.
It's like you went through data science boot camp all in one go.
Exactly. And his story really highlights that data science isn't just about technical skills.
Yeah,
It's also about solving problems, being creative, and honestly just being persistent.
right. He didn't just crunch the numbers. He told a story with the data.
Exactly. And that's what makes data science so powerful. It's
Yeah.
about using data to help make decisions, solve problems, and hopefully create a better future.
Ethan's story also shows that data science is rarely a one-person show, right? Like, he had his manager, Amelia, who supported him,
Yeah, definitely.
trusted his process,
Yeah.
and gave him the space to try new things, even when they seemed kind of out there.
Absolutely. Collaboration is so important in data science. Being able to explain what you find, to get buy-in from people, and to work well in teams is crucial.
So you got to be more than just a data whiz. You have to be a data storyteller, too.
Exactly. You have to be able to communicate those insights in a way that people understand and that can drive action.
And Ethan's story reminds us that data science isn't magic. It's a process, a journey of figuring things out that sometimes involves taking a risk.
Exactly like Amelia taking a chance on Ethan's discount program, even though it seemed a little risky.
Yeah.
But that risk based on good data and Ethan's reasoning paid off.
It's pretty cool to see how Ethan, using data science tools and ideas, was able to make a real difference for his company.
It is, and remember, this is just one example of the countless ways that data science is changing the world.
This has been an awesome deep dive into data science.
It has.
We talked about the basic ideas, the steps you take in a data science project, and the amazing tools that data scientists use.
And how it's being used in all sorts of fields to solve problems and shape the future.
Data science is a field full of opportunities,
Yeah.
and we really encourage you to explore it more.
Yeah, and don't forget, this deep dive was brought to you by Afterwork.
That's right.
They have a fantastic YouTube channel packed with resources for anyone who wants to learn data science.
So if you're ready to start your own data science adventure, head over to Afterwork's YouTube channel.
And subscribe to stay up to date on the latest in data science.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. We hope you enjoyed learning about the awesome world of data science, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive into a new and exciting topic.